How's it going, everyone? And welcome to my Geometry Dash 2.2 kind of reaction video, but it's not really because I've already seen it. So it's more like a Geometry Dash 2.2 sneak peek discussion video. Before I talk further on this, I'm really stoked, and you can easily tell that this has generated a lot of hype in the Geometry Dash community, because if you scroll down here, you can see that this has over 2 million views and 376,000 likes, which is a whole hell of a lot. And this was actually trending. It was a #1 trending in gaming, I think a few hours ago or yesterday. Absolutely bananas. And there's definitely a lot of hype around this update. The Geometry Dash community, surprisingly, even though 2.1 has been out for a long time, has been steadily growing. You always see comments on every stream, every video. There's always someone or many people that will tell you Geometry Dash is a dying game and it's in its death throes. Haha, you loser. To be fair, having Geometry Dash as my main job, it is kind of a weird feeling. And I never really sit down and just think about that. You know, I don't sit down and think to myself, wow, is making videos for Geometry Dash as my job, is that kind of weird? I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers that make their job out of covering all kinds of facets of gaming in life, so it's not that weird. But anyways, yes, the community has been increasing in active player base over time. Even to this day, every month upon month, there's still more and more players. A lot of people will experience maybe the game through YouTube. They'll see YouTubers like myself playing it, or various others, or just find the game on sale one day and give it a shot. And the community has it's been growing. And it's crazy to see, because everyone thought that because this game hasn't been updated in a while, it was slowly going to be dying until the update came out. But it's been increasing in players up until the update is going to come out. It's wild. It's wild. And for good reason. I love the Geometry Dash community. There's a lot of people that think it's a toxic place, and there are toxic people in the community, but there are toxic people in every single community out there. And the toxic people in the GD community are pretty few and far between compared to other communities. I've played in online games in like Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. I know I've heard stories about League of Legends, Fortnite. There's a lot of communities that have a lot more toxic players. And so I think the Geometry Dash community, it's a pretty good community. I'm pretty happy to be a part of this. It's great. And it's great to see that this game just continues to grow. When 2.2 comes out, it's going to blow up even bigger, which is bananas. Anyways, let's go on to the actual sneak peeks itself. I'm just going to let it run. God, it looks so cool. Like, there's so much detail, and I imagine like these pixel blocks you can actually just like pop in. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of options to make your level better and slicker looking. By the way, those blocks are really cool that actually change gravity and stick you to the surface. Man, that zoom in is so cool. So you can see right here how the camera kind of like zooms in and out a little bit. And a lot of people were worried that it was going to make the game really kind of more difficult to play, because it was going to be abused and it was going to be even more of an eyesore. But thinking about it, like if it's tastefully used, like RobTop used in that level right there, man, that looks awesome. It looks really good. Pretty stoked on that, to see what some of the great creators in this game will be able to make with that. I think it's going to be great. By the way, this is great. We're being watched. That's right. We are all watching, all 2.2 million of us. Meet me down the road. Watch your step. Huh. Yeah, this is great. I loved it. Oh, I missed the joke. There's a joke. He said, I don't speak Spanish, which the Spanish community of Geometry Dash is probably the biggest community out there. So anyways, this is platforming mode, and platforming mode looks really cool. God, I love the blocks. Like, the blocks look really slick. It looks like it's actual pixel art from like a really well-made indie game. It's really, really cool. And platforming mode is going to be awesome. It's gonna add a whole facet to the game to just mess around with. It's gonna give creators the potential to basically slow down the game and make whatever they want in it. Because right here, in this section right here, like, you can take a look at it and you can see, okay, this is kind of like a basic platforming level. This could be like level 1 from another platforming game. However, this is the platforming mode in its very bare bones state. This is just basically a template of what you could possibly make. When you get some creators, like for example, Serpunge and others who made levels already like Castlemania, which is a Metroidvania game in Geometry Dash, imagine giving those creators the power with platforming mode to make whatever they want. You could make, with the various different game modes that are going to be available with platforming mode, you could make some awesome platforming levels that will not even look like this. It'll look way different. It'll look like its own game. You could probably recreate like Hollow Knight bosses in Geometry Dash. You could recreate boss fights from other games in Geometry Dash, which sounds bananas. That sounds incredibly cool. There's gonna be creators that are gonna blow your mind with the platforming mode. I know not everyone is excited about platforming mode because they think, well, that's not why I play Geometry Dash. I play Geometry Dash to dash and never stop and just keep on going and have those precise timings and inputs required to get through levels. But platforming mode is going to open up the doors for a lot of creators to make some really cool stuff. And it's gonna be, I know myself as a person who loves platformers, it's gonna revolutionize the game. I think people are really underplaying just how cool some levels are going to be in platforming mode. They are going to be incredibly good when some good creators get involved. Like even the basic ones like this, for example, will be pretty fun to play. But man, I guarantee you there are going to be some platforming levels that are going to absolutely blow you away. It's going to be nuts. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be cool because people can also make basically entire games in Geometry Dash. Like, you'll be able to maybe make multiple levels as part of your own world, for example. And then maybe there'll be boss levels and stuff. And there could even be stories, people put like text in the levels and stuff. And people can basically make their own platforming game in Geometry Dash. People are really undercutting the value of platforming mode because they are just so used to original Geometry Dash, but it's going to be insanely cool. Like, you guys, honestly, I think platforming mode is going to be an incredible addition to the game, and it's going to be not even just kind of a side thing to do. It's not even going to be like a little distraction, which a lot of people think it's going to be. It's going to be a huge feature. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of attention put onto it. I, for one, am super excited for platforming mode. I think it's going to be great. As for the actual, like, normal gameplay itself, like, the Geometry Dash that we are all so used to, it looks incredibly sick. I love the way that those pillars are moving to the side. The backgrounds look really good. The things in the background. I think there's going to be a lot of objects, like a lot of pixel art objects that are thrown into the game, like these blocks right here. It's going to be a lot easier to make really good looking levels if you're not super good at the creator. Like right now, you have to have quite a good design sense and you need to be very creative to make levels that look really good. It's difficult, but I think it's going to be a lot easier. Now, clearly, I think there's going to be a time when people are eventually, like after year 2.2 is going to come out, people are eventually going to get sick of like these default items that are put in there, that are put into the game. But by that point, there's going to be a lot of people who have already done crazy other things with the editor as well. And so like people's skill and ability with the 2.2 editor will evolve over time. But at first, there's going to be a lot of new interesting tools and there's going to be a lot of fresh levels that are going to come out with these new objects. It's going to be nice. I really like the addition of the spider icon on the portals. I know I'm not the only one who does this, and for some people it's not that big of a deal, but for some reason, like some of the portals, I still will mistake. I'm trying to think of an example. Sometimes like a spider in a ship, like pink and purple. Sometimes if the game plays fast and I'm doing some sight reading, I'll mistake the two. I'm trying to think of another example. Oh, maybe like the wave and like the normal gravity portal, even though they look different because they're, the different game mode ones and the gravity portals do look different. Sometimes it's because the color's similar, like it trips me up. And so it's really nice to include that. I know that is mostly a colorblind option for people that are colorblind, but even for me that can mistake portals easily, having that little symbol is going to be really helpful. That's a cool little a feature. So that's cool. So the screen can now, I think it's going to be easy to kind of rotate You can rotate the perception of the screen. Yeah, so that looks really cool. I love it how you go up top there and then like those arrows that you can see that will make it so instead of just dying, you actually do like a 90-degree swap onto the surface. So you don't just run into the wall, you actually go downwards and the screen stops. So the screen will stop and then you have to like go to a certain point to move on. So it's going to be really cool. Because you'll get these like little play areas if there's a focus on like one particular section. It might actually work out really well for certain boss fights. Instead of having the screen continuously scroll, you could probably put the boss fight all onto this one screen that's stopping here, and like you're maybe waving or you're using the ship as the boss is doing attacks like on the screen. I think it might be easier to make boss fights and stuff like that. So that is really cool that now you can stop the screen and control which surfaces you can go onto and which direction you're going, whether it be vertical swaps or horizontal swaps as well, all in one screen. I think that's pretty cool. Boom. And then we go over and nice. I think those are additional blocks as well. Like some trigger blocks that you can hit and they'll do things, right? You got to hit them all to move on. There's like death blocks. Now these blocks are cool because there's a bit of a story here. It's probably not that interesting of a story. A bit of a story with these blocks. There are blocks that are put into 2.2 where they're gravity blocks. So like if you touch the surface of something, then you automatically switch gravity. And I don't know if all of them are going to have that green glow. I'm sure you can customize it and make it whatever you want, really. But the cool thing about those blocks, as you can see, you jump down and you're switching gravity. The cool thing about those blocks is RobTop actually got that idea from someone who had made that idea in a recent tab video of mine. I found a level that someone said, cool new 2.2 idea, or it was just cool new idea. I forget. It was a long time ago. And then he mentioned in a stream that I was doing, maybe it was last year, like Bloodbath or something. I don't know. He popped into one of the streams and he had mentioned that, yeah, he thought that was a really cool idea. He had seen the video and he was going to implement that in 2.2. So seeing this now, like in the actual sneak peek, it's kind of cool. I dig that. It's really neat. Oh, and then you can do slow motion. So you get a slow motion pan in on the camera. That's very cool. And then we get the swing copter game mode. Now, I don't know exactly how the swing copter is going to work. I don't know if it's going to work like when you click the button, it's basically like the swing copter, it switches gravity and you go the other way. Because like what would happen then if you hit a gravity portal? Would it just automatically switch the gravity then the other way? I guess that would work. Or I'm wondering, is this actually going to work where if you're holding the button kind of like a ship, then you go up, and then if you let go of the button, you go down, which would kind of be like a hybrid between the ship and the wave then, because maybe the acceleration, it seems much more like faster paced. But then again, if it was just like that, it would be very similar to the ship. But I guess in the ship, there's so many different angles you can actually get. And with this, it would kind of direct you onto one set path. So I'm not too sure if one click actually switches gravity like a traditional swing copter, or holding down the button will make it go up. I actually am just not entirely sure. Anyways, that skull is really cool, that animated skull at the top. And that is really cool too. The level flips 90 degrees and then turns around like that. That is so cool. And I imagine there's gonna be some sort of trigger for that, or like, I don't want to say a special portal. However, this portal right here looks like a special portal. Boom. So you see, you hit that and then it flips 90 degrees the other way. And I think that might be a portal that is used to flip the screen 90 degrees. It'd be like a 90-degree portal, but I'm not entirely sure if that's just going to be a trigger or not, or like something invisible that you can use that flips the screen 90 degrees. I mean, I honestly don't know, but it's very cool, that portal right there. Boom. And then RobTop like dies by not jumping. So anyways, that looks cool. And look at this. I imagine like if you would have jumped, hit that blue jump orb, gone into the ball portal, I imagine what would have happened is you would eventually like hit the button and the screen would either switch 90 degrees and you'd be in the ball section, or what would happen is it wouldn't. You would actually have some vertical gameplay where if you push the button as the ball, it like switches horizontally, like you're horizontally going back and forth, which would be really cool in and of itself as well, right? So I'm not too sure about that. there's a lot. I mean, clearly there's a lot of things that we don't know about the update yet. So, you know, nothing. We can just glean some information from what we see in the sneak peek, which is only 1 minute and 43 seconds long, which covers, you know, 30 seconds of gameplay from this level, the new level. One of the new levels, I think there's going to be multiple, actually, because there's multiple songs. I forget the names of them, but I think there's at least like 2 songs guaranteed. This is a Geometry Dash song by MDK, I think, and I forget what the other one was, but there's another song that's already been chosen. There's going to be a lot of stuff added, and I know a lot of people have waited a long time for this update, but I think this update is going to be worth the wait. I think it's going to revolutionize the game. It's going to make the game feel fresh for quite a long time. I mean, 2.1, still to this day, people are making incredible levels. Like, there's mastery of the level editor that people thought was not possible. Like with Castlemania, levels like Dreamflower for art and effects and stuff like that. There's people that are still making incredible things in the 2.1 editor. And now the 2.2 editor is going to carry people for many more years to come. Dude, I'm hyped. It's going to be great. I'm so hyped. As for when this is actually going to come out, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of work that's already been done. However, there are some game modes that we haven't seen nothing of. Like, there was supposed to be a multiplayer mode. I don't even know if that's going to be implemented or not. Maybe that'll be implemented later. But, you know, like, I feel like even though there's a lot of really cool things that we've seen in the sneak peek, you know, I feel like there's a lot of work to be done. However, I am going to say, I am going to guess that this is probably going to come out like winter 2022. Maybe around this, maybe at like the 5-year mark of when 2.1 came out. I could see around that, but I don't think it's going to come out any earlier. Because I think there's still going to be some polish and stuff put on it. I mean, I'm hoping it comes out soon, but, you know, I'm just trying to realistically think about the release date. It's really funny because, what was it? 3 years ago, I made a video. It was my 9 circles 20 times speed video. And I was making a joke. I said, I found this 20 times portal in like this 2.2 secret folder. And the release date is 2.2 is going to come out in 3 months, 5 days, 3 hours, and 3 years. And it was a joke because it seems so far away. But that date's actually going to come up in October. Imagine if I was right. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say about the update. I'm super stoked for it. I think it's going to be well worth the wait. And even though the community doesn't need revitalizing, because hell yeah, there's so many people, new people coming into the community all the time. Dude, this the Geometry Dash community is going to explode with popularity once 2.2 comes out. And I think that's going to last a very long time because there's so many new tools that are going to be given to creators and players alike to enjoy the game for many more years to come. So I'm pretty stoked on it. I think it's going to be awesome. And let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I usually don't do videos like this. I usually just kind of mess around in GD. But hey, if you want to see more of my videos about opinions and stuff in the Geometry Dash community, I would love to do more chill videos like this. As much as I love slaying hard levels like Artificial Ascent, I am getting a little bit older, and maybe some more commentary videos I think would be welcome to the channel. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Leave a like, and as always, peace.